Go. Let's see here. I got a comms check.
Hello.
Yep, I gotcha.
All right. Greetings, everyone. 07. And greetings, Felix.
Greetings in return.
Okay, thanks everybody for gathering. We're gonna start trying to wing more of you in, but it's already pretty laggy, so we'll see how many we get before the instance breaks down.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Okay, gang, to try to alleviate some of the FPS issues, we are going to fly away from the tourist beacon down towards the rings. John is streaming, so you can kind of see where he is. Try to follow and stay within 7 kilometers so you don't de-instance. And then we'll start lining everybody up and try to get this party started. And John's in the big anaconda, as you can see in the stream.
The big white one.
And just a reminder for everyone, put either your landing gear or cargo scoop down to avoid accidental boosting. Thank you.
It looks like we are at capacity for this instance. So for those of you, if you're not in this main instance, feel free to start forming up a new one and winging people in as they request, and maybe we can just have a couple of simultaneous with the live stream. Yeah, for those of you who are in instances with other people, the whole goal here is just to gather with other commanders. So as long as you have one more person in yours, I think you're good. Feel free to wing in as many people as you want who are in solo instances. But
Yeah, this is Commander Naughty Nate. I totally agree with you, and I think even if you're in your own flying on your own solo, as long as you're catching the stream that John is showing, I think that's great. We're about 15 minutes out now. I think we can go comms free for the organizers if you guys want. About 20 of the hour, we'll start the memorial service. I'm seeing about looks like over 160 people in channel. That's great. Alrighty, we're about 10 minutes out. John, if you want to stop, maybe we can try to line everybody up in the main instance here, and everybody who's not in the main instance, go ahead and follow along in the stream. I think that'll probably be a good solution to joining in.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
If everyone wants to line up and face Unbreakable in the neon blue Caspian, I think we can try to form up a little bit here.
I'm just going to adjust a little so that everyone's facing the jump point.
All right, we're about 3 minutes from starting up. Understand that our streamer's game crashed, which is just Fleet Dangerous's way of saying thank you for having so many players in game at the same time. I think what we'll do is wait for that to start back up again. This is Commander Naughty Nate, and I'm going to be kind of leading things off a little bit today. The rough schedule is going to be that in about a couple minutes, we'll start with the service. That'll probably last roughly about 10 minutes. We've got a couple of people speaking. We'll have a missing commander flyby at the end of that, followed by a mass jump over to Macedonica's Leap. So we'll get started in just a moment.
Hold on, I can get you.
Yeah, if you all are having trouble seeing Commander Unbreakable, go ahead and target Macedonica's Leap, and that'll line you up nicely.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think I'm going to have to do here. I have never seen this many targets on my screen at once. It's a lot of people. Alrighty, I think we'll go ahead and get started here. My game is close to unplayable at this point, so I think I'm probably just going to focus on speaking more than anything else. I am Commander Naughty Nate. I'm on the Distant Worlds 3 organization team and the editor of Beyond Waypoints, the official journal of the expedition. I want to thank all of you for coming out. We've got a huge turnout, as the the in-game lag clearly indicates. I think this is probably demonstrating the best of what this community is all about. And remembering Chiggy today, really what we're doing is we're not just playing a game. We're not just here looking at computer screens. We are forming a community of people really from all over the world. I think from practically every continent. And it's a very powerful symbolism that we're all kind of gathered in this particular moment in this particular way, and specifically in this system because of the history that it holds. And I think, like any community, there's going to be moments of joy and beauty. I think the 10th year anniversary celebration of the wedding at Distant Worlds at Beagle Point on the original expedition is one of those highlights. But there are also going to, of course, be moments of loss and grief as well. And several months ago, we lost Commander Chiggy Vonrictofen in real life. And that carries weight in the game as well. For those of you who didn't know him, the guy was I think, an absolute legend when it comes to exploration. Some of the numbers that I've heard that I've checked out as well are on Inara. He's the number one for most systems visited at 256,351. He has 3,000 Earth-like world discoveries. EDDM lists him as number 3 for first discovered systems at around 128,000. So just a huge number. And then for distance covered, he is number 8, according to Inara, at 10,647,858 light years. Just some unbelievable statistics. But Chiggy is perhaps best known not for these numbers and the exploration, but for one of the most celebrated moments in Elite Dangerous history, traveling 60,000 light years to rescue a stranded commander who thought his journey was all but over. And we're fortunate to have that commander here today. It's my honor to introduce Commander Felix Macedonica. He's a veteran of the original Distant Worlds expedition. He was one of the last commanders to arrive. He showed up, he tells me, in a battered Lakon T6, just about as everybody else was leaving, it sounds like. And while here at Beagle Point, he began the Transpolar Beagle Point 2 SRV expedition, essentially driving an SRV from one pole to another, and saw basically the rest of the fleet kind of wave goodbye and take off. He did his polar run, and then he got back onto his T6, and he began his long journey back. And that's, I think, where misadventure, as pretty much happens on any big trip, started to kick in. So Felix, let you take it from there and explain the story and your relationship with Chiggy and how that unfolded over time.
Thank you, Commander Noddy, for those words of introduction. I think most people probably know the background of the story, so I'll just do a quick overview as it was, because it's really more about Chiggy and his effort than what the stupidity that ended me up in this system and one system over. I'd run out of the jumponium materials I needed. I'd miscalculated the jump. There was only one landable planet that was in reach, and of course, typically it didn't have the germanium that I needed. I only needed one element, and that would have got me out of this trap I was in to what the system that's now become renamed as Macedonica's Leap. So I was disheartened. I'd spent a long time with the Distant World expedition, so I put a post up on the forum, on Frontier Forums, as most of you probably know, called End of the Road. And I started it with a very simple, cold sentence, which was, I messed up. And I just outlined what had happened, mainly just to get awareness that these are the traps that you can fall into when you're in the black for too long, maybe, as I'd certainly had been. Not expecting anything. I had no kind of expectation to come back from that. And within a few posts, this chap called Chiggy Vonrictofen, who I'd never heard of at this point, sent a very simple message, which was personal message sent. And he outlined this crazy idea where he would retool up a mining ship, an Asp Explorer as it was, and fly out 60,000 light years and jump in, because there was one gas giant, a rocky gas giant, the one we're at right now. And he thought, quite rightly as it turned out, that there would be a possibility that he could mine the debris here, the rings, and actually germanium might pop out. And everybody was galvanized by that. His selflessness and his heroism, as it were, just the effort to cross that huge distance on a slight chance that germanium might pop out was overwhelming. So people were weighing in with all the statistics, the probabilities, and I think it took him the better part of 2.5 days, almost towards the end of 3 days. And I remember my overriding memory was just being so grateful to him for his selflessness, the fact that he just reached out without knowing me, my background, or anything like that. And the speed with which he covered the distance. And I think I've talked about before on the podcast a couple of days ago, where every time I went into the galactic map to have a look at where he was, I had to zoom far out because he covered such distances so quickly. So I was in awe of all of that, and quite humbled. And the community, as I say, came alive to support both of us through this kind of amazing adventure that was kicking off. And then the moment where he arrived in the system above the rings that were now all gathered around to commemorate his memory. Now, I would just like to say one thing that's sort of touching me very deeply at the moment is, and it's a strange how I didn't think I was going to get emotional, but I am actually quite choked up a little bit now. It's like, this is almost 10 years ago, I think, and I was here. I'd been a few days on my own in this system, trying to figure out what to do and failing miserably. And then Chiggy arrived after that heroic journey, and it was the two of us going down into the ring system here, and then mining, and then luckily, eventually, the germanium popped out. But I'm here now, surrounded by hundreds. It looks like, it certainly feels like hundreds of ships, and the utter contrast between the emptiness and the loneliness of that first moment when Chiggy jumped in and what we have now, I can only say speaks as an enduring monument to how well remembered he has been, how fondly people think of him and his exploits. So I'd just like to say in closing that I'm very honored to be here to help celebrate, to commemorate his memory, and that I think all of us have been touched by him, either through actually adventuring with him, hopefully not as messed up as I did, or by his repute, as was mentioned earlier by Commander Nati. So I would just like to take a short moment just to pause and just remember his presence amongst us all, if that's all right, and just bow my head a moment in silence. Thank you for that. Thank you. So I'd like to hand back to Commander Naughty now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Felix. I think that contrast that you drew between the emptiness and the loneliness of the first time you were here with the literally hundreds of ships that we're seeing now in this particular system is a tribute to both Chiggy and to the community as a whole. I have a message here from Commander Yannick that she has asked me to read today. She says, "Greetings, commanders. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm with you in spirit. Rest in peace, Chiggy Vonrictofen. May you be forever one with the stars that you love so much. 07 Commander Yannick." I'd like us all to, I think, just take another moment to pause and reflect a little bit on this. We're going to have a missing commander flyby, which is kind of the traditional way of acknowledging loss. And just kind of take a moment to reflect on that as that happens. And then once that flyby takes place, we'll go ahead and line up on the destination system and make our jump. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for sharing this time with us. I'm going to confess here that I'm semi-connected to the game at this point. I think that's the flyby going by at the moment, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that I have NPCs telling me various things that NPCs like to say as well. I think that is the flyby. So, commanders, let's go ahead and target Macedonica's Leap. Go ahead and line to it and get ready to jump as our tribute to Commander Chiggy.
Cargo scope retracted.
And remember, as you charge your FSD, keep your throttle at 0, stow your landing gear, and wait for the signal to go to 100% throttle.
Who's given that signal, by the way, Crozier?
I believe that's you, friend.
Oh, all right. I'm not sure that I am even charged up or necessarily in game. Let's go ahead and do this. I will count down from 5 right now, and regardless of where I'm at, everybody go ahead and jump. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump. Well, looking at the stream from John Burnage's ship just looks fantastic. Lovely.
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Thanks everyone who participated, and I think that was a really beautiful tribute and send off to an incredible pilot and a friend of the exploration community. So with that, I believe this event will now conclude, and everyone can head back to Beagle Point if you want to try to participate in the world record mass jump attempt. But thank you all for coming. This was really nice.
Thank everyone for joining
Thank
today,
you.
and
Take care,
Felix.
everyone.
Yep, Felix. Thank you very much for your memories. That was special.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Yep. Cheers.
Thank you.